All right, for those of you guys listening, can you guys hear me okay and see me okay on Zoom? Making sure I got my technological issues all set here today. If you're in the chat room, just Creed, you can hear me? All right, cool. Yay, I got my technological stuff working today. All right. Cool. So, let me get started here. All right. I wonder, I'm not sure if YouTube is working for whatever reason. Let me see here. I'm not seeing YouTube working. Huh. We'll take a look at it. All right, we'll give a few people a few minutes to join. So I'll keep an eye. Okay, cool. YouTube's working now. All right, so we're good to go. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the market here today. You can see futures kind of bouncing off of this lower angular support, and it's rejecting off this 9 EMA here on the daily. So we'll have to see if it's going to fall back down or see what it's going to do. So lots of fun, guys, lots of fun. Let's take a look at a few from the watch list, and then we'll look at trade ideas. I was looking at HSX, HSGX, because it has kind of a triple bottom here. Want to see if this thing will pump up, get above $1, or break out above $1. Got to watch and see this one. It's not doing much of anything really right now, but just keep an eye on it. This thing might get a pump, and you can see this huge gap on the daily, so want to see if this thing will get a pump up. So I'm going to peripherally look at that one. Let me look at this other one, HS. Not liking that one right now. ACRX. Vive, I want to look at this one, see if this can get above that 364 marker, pump up. Next up would be about $4 resistance. So again, not any volume pre-market, but again, this is one to keep an eye on where everybody might be distracted by trade ideas, and it's one to watch out for. It did hold its highs yesterday, so we'll see if there's some continuation there. There is a gap here on the daily on MXWL between 415 and 420s area. So this is another one I'll kind of keep off to the side to keep an eye on. So some of these guys, you guys got to let them play out a little bit. You'll see nothing's going on pre-market with them, which doesn't mean they won't pump up. But, you know, that's where we like to have a healthy combination of our watch list as well as trade ideas. So you can see it's kind of forming kind of a bull pennant-ish pattern here. Might be setting up for some continuation at open. We will got to watch and see. CDTI might be forming a head, left shoulder, possible head and shoulders pre-market. So yeah, not looking the greatest at the moment. TIVO has a big kind of double bottom on the daily. This might be one to keep an eye on to see if this can get above $13 and might have some movement up here. Kind of a bigger name company. So this is one that would intrigue me. Kind of, again, double bottom, kind of a U pattern or cup pattern, maybe forming an inverse head and shoulders. We'll have to watch and see. It needs to get above that $13 range. So TIVO might be a little bit intriguing. Yeah, so I want to see if that one get above that $13 marker. And let's look at trade ideas now. Let's look at PTI. So PTI is, man, this one's really pumping up pre-market. So you can see 624 pre-market high, super overextended at the moment, which puts you right around here, 624. You see some other resistance right around $7. So this has a history of pumping. So this is one we're definitely going to keep an eye on, PTI. Again, really overextended, but we'll keep an eye on it. And that one will definitely go on the watch list. Let's see. So PTI, let's look at ORPN. Let me remove some of these drawings. Pre-market high 216 puts it right over that 200 SMA. If that can hold and get up, this one has a history of pumping. This may be forming maybe kind of a bull pennant-ish pattern. We'll have to watch and see. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one, ORPN. And see if it can hold, and see again, kind of draw your, you know, it's not a perfect pattern right now, but you can kind of, you know, kind of like this, or kind of down like this. Got to watch and see. Got to let it play out a little bit. So, so we're gonna just see again if it can hold up. If it's gonna be bullish at the open, we'll have to keep an eye and see. It's a little bit more trickier of a pattern right now, so we will keep an eye on it. So that would be ORPN, PTI. Let me put this on YouTube. And what else we got? MTNB. So MTNB kind of has a symmetrical triangle-ish pattern on the daily. History of pumping. Kind of has a bull pennant-ish pattern again right now. Pre-market. So this one might be setting up. Pre-market high 122. Again, history of pumping. I'd look at 150 next level of resistance. So we will definitely keep an eye on MTNB as well. So I think the four I'm going to look at right now, guys, are MTNB, PTI, ORPN, and then also TIVO off the watch list with a side action of, or side one that I'm keeping an eye on, of HSGX. Let me take a look at ECO. Which one? Okay, YECO. Let me look at that one as well. Yeah, this one's crazy. So this one might have some continuation. It is looking very bearish at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye. I'm going to split my screen and we're going to look at PTI. I mean, this one has again a history of pumping and dumping. I'm gonna put some $7, another area of support. So at this point, we're gonna see it's kind of riding this 9 EMA right now. So we'll see if this can hold and continue up, or see if it's gonna dump. We'll have to watch and see. New pre-market high is 655, and ORPM is kind of dumping right now. So ORPN, I might keep a look at MTNB. Yeah, so this is one. So I'm going to look at both MTNB and PTI at open. OPRN's a little bit shaky right now. And then probably TIVO I'm going to keep an eye on. So, yeah. So these are the two I'm going to watch at open. MTNB, PTI, and see how things shake out. And just take a moment for you guys, if any of you guys are new. You can see we have a huge community on Facebook. We're the Bullish Bears. Come and join us. Great community to learn about the stock market. Also, too, we have we're basically a full-scale trading company. We have a day trade room, swing trade room, futures trade room. So if you're listening on YouTube, we turn off the chat on YouTube because we do all of our chatting in our trade rooms. We do trade alerts and watch lists each day. We have thousands of dollars worth of free courses for our members. So if you're not a member, you can join, get access to our courses. We do live streaming every morning, both on Zoom and YouTube. So if you're new, all you got to do is log in right over here, and you'll get access to our courses, our trade rooms, our trade alerts. And if you're a yearly member, you get access to our members only content, which gives you access to our scans and a bunch of other content. So if you're not a member, you can subscribe here. So now we wait and see, guys. We'll keep an eye what happens when the market opens, and we should be good to go. So I will be back with you guys in a couple of moments. So again, we're going to look at PTI, MTNB, TIVO, and then some of the ones from our watch list as well. So I'll be with you guys really shortly. All right, I'm back. And you can see PTI is pulling back a bit right now, and MTB a little bit as well. So we'll keep an eye on both of these again, see if they will. You can see, kind of just draw your trend line to kind of like that, kind of like, oops. So we'll see what happens, see if these will dump or if they form maybe kind of like an ascending triangle-ish pattern. You can see some resistance in these areas right up over in here. This one kind of has MTNB a little bit of a head and shoulders this pattern. This is slanted down a little bit. So we'll see again if this can get above PTI, above this $6 range right up in here with that 650 resistance. See if it'll hold, continue upwards. And this one's got a MTB, MB has a little bit more resistance. So we shall see. Again, it's also important, guys, to have a 5-minute chart up as well. You can see, I mean, PTI had a really huge move up. You can kind of look at the 5-minute, look at it slowing down, you know, watch for the pattern, see if it forms like a kind of a flag pattern and continues up, or if it's going to dump. Got to watch and see. And right here. So you can see buyers coming in here. Got to watch 2 more minutes at the open, see what happens. Needs to get above also that 625 marker as well, so it doesn't have that head and shoulders pattern. You can see it's smacking right below it right now. Yep, David says, don't get overwhelmed by the bell, guys. There's ops all day. Don't wipe out early. Good advice. Got to let the market shake out. So, you know, give it a few minutes. Many of these patterns will pump up really quickly and dump, so that's where you want to see them hold. And it's patterns, 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 patterns. Sit back and drink your coffee, Creed says. That is correct. Or drink your booch, your kombucha, or your smoothie. Angel likes her smoothies. Rum and Coke. I mean, hey, to each their own, as long as you're or your NBEV products. Very true. You can see both MTNB and PTI have very similar patterns going right now. Kind of has this head and shoulders pattern going. While also, oh boy, we get. Hey Mark, just post your question in the chat room, bud. Anybody that's listening on Zoom, I just post your questions again in the chat room, and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, PTI. Keep an eye right here, see if the buyers will come in or if this thing's going to dump. Right now, MTNB, you can see failing lower trend line. PTI might be a little bit stronger. See if it can get above that 625 marker. It's having trouble right now at the moment. Remember, the market's opening up red right now, so be careful. These ones that you want to watch to potentially pump up, they may start dumping. I'm still keeping an eye on TIVO. And HSGX, I'm going to pull that one up. That one's on the watch list. Penny stock, this one might be right here. So keep an eye right here if it can hold above this 80 cent marker. This one has a basically kind of like a triple bottom on the daily. So if this one can get some momentum and jump up, it might have a pump. We'll have to keep an eye on HSGX. So let's see if it'll hold. Be careful here. Give it a couple minutes to shake out. PTI still kind of has this head and shoulders pattern. Needs to get above that 625 marker and hold. If it can hold 625, watch that 655 area. Be careful of this thing dropping right back down as well. Nasty high wave candle. See what I tell you guys, right? Watch this thing to pop up and then drop back down. You got to be very careful. HSGX has a couple high wave candles right now, so it's struggling right around that 80 cents area. See if this thing will shake out and maybe form kind of a cup and maybe a handle. So we'll have to see, or a double bottom pattern here. See if it can hold and get a pump. Yeah, if you guys are having problem with Thinkorswim charts, yeah, sometimes it's best to just log out and log back in. So watch right now with HSGX if this thing can get above 80 cents. Might be forming a flat top. We'll have to watch and see. So clearly, as you guys can see, needs to get above that 80 cents marker. If so, might have some chance to get up to $1 if it can pump up and hold that 80 cents. And you can see PTI struggling right here on that 625-ish area. Yeah, let me pull up Yeko. I'll look at that for you guys. See HSGX creeping up right on the 80 cents. See if it can hold. So watch if there's a retest here and see if this area can hold. I'm also looking at ORPN. Might be holding the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. We got to watch and see. It's a little bit shaky at the moment. Right here, still watching HSGX. Watch this retest of 80 cents. You have tweezer tops possibly. And it's struggling at the moment at these tweezer tops, and it's dumping. Yeah, nasty dump right here. I'm going to pull up Yeko. Still keep an eye on this one. If this one will move back up, it's showing shaky right now. These tweezer tops here on the 1 minute, it's not looking so hot. Let me pull up Yeko. So this couldn't hold that 80 cent marker. Might form a head and shoulders. You got to see that 80 to 81 cent range. And there you go. Look at really quickly on PTI. Nasty. Wow. PTI is launching. Support around 655 PTI. High a day 718. Be careful on this one right now. This one's pumping up a lot right now, so watch for a possible pullback here. Again, let me look at the daily. Where is it? See if you can hold right below that $7 range as well. So you have kind of like almost a head, left shoulder, right shoulder. So head and shoulders. This thing, you got to be very careful of the volatility on this one right now. Very quick, moving super quick, right? Yeah, this one green candle up. We'll see if this can get back above $7. Like, so if the 9 EMA will catch up. You can see very far from the 9 EMA. So we'll see if this will catch up and possibly continue. But again, it's overextended, so be very careful. Yeah, let me pull up Yeko. So Yakko, watch this retest for 1731. See if this one retests. Is it halted? It looks like it just halted on the way down. Yeah, we have to be very careful of this one right here. This one really pumped up. Watch this thing for a possible pullback when it reopens. Still keeping an eye on PTI. Watch if this forms a bull pennant or if it's going to dump. You can see that 1720 or that 650s area is some support. You can kind of draw your trend lines kind of like this. So see if this is a bull pennant that holds and breaks out. I'd watch 750 at resistance as well if it can break above. Right there we go. It gets above that 718 for a quick pump up, and watch 750 next if it can continue. And it's shaky, as you can see right here. It had this real quick little move up above out of this triangle, and then it's dumping right back down. So be very careful with this one. I'm still looking at TIVO right now. It needs to get some more volume, but what I'm looking at is on the 1 minute, it's not looking so hot. On the 5, looking to see if it can get kind of back over these moving average lines. So you can see it's bouncing at the moment. So kind of can draw your trend lines down. So I'm going to watch and see if this can get above VWAP and then previous close and see if it can move up above that $13 range. So I'm still keeping an eye on TIVO. ORPN might be moving as well. Let me look at ORPN. So this one's definitely a lot more spotty. Right here, it's a little bit see that? Yeah, it's a really kind of crazy pattern going on right now. So you can see it was kind of breaking out. Had kind of like this falling wedge-ish pattern. Dang, now this thing's taking off. Now let's see if it can hold above that 216 marker. ORPN's hitting trade ideas. Low floater. Definitely has a history of pumping and dumping. So got to be careful with this one, guys. Watch for the pullback on this one. Possibly down to this $2 range. This one's really all over the place right now. Watch for tweezer tops on that right below 220. Dang. PTI, I'm going to go back. So this one's all over the place with ORPN right now. Let me pull up PTI. Might be forming kind of a flat top. See if you can get above that 730-ish marker. Some support here still around that 650s. So watch if this forms an ascending triangle. See if this $7 area can hold. Get this 9 EMA to push it and break it out above that 730. Watch out for 750 resistance as well. So watch if this forms a possible ascending triangle. And TIVO, not looking so hot at the moment, but see if this thing can get out and break out above that previous close. So I'm just kind of watching this peripherally. I might look at a different one right now. Yeko just is dumping below 18 bucks. That one's nasty looking right now for those that are watching Yeko. So still keeping an eye on PTI. It's kind of all over the place with this ascending triangle. For those that are watching Yeko, we can pull that one up right over here and see that right below $18 it dumped, or it's dumping, but still keep an eye on it because maybe it'll form a possible flag. Let's look at the 1 minute. Nope, now it's dumping. So careful that head and shoulders pattern right here. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. So it's got kind of a head and shoulders. Squishy. Let me see if I can pull up what you're showing me. Someone show me about this guy on Twitter. Is he pumping? I'm just reading his comments right now. So right here, PTI, what I show you guys, right? Careful that ascending triangle right below 750. It's pulling back. So watch again. Kind of has this ascending triangle. Had a quick pump right below 750 resistance. Still has this ascending triangle. It is a bit all over the place, so just careful of this one. So watch right here. See if this gives you a little flag opening. Watch if it can break above 750. So you can kind of look at this 9 EMA right now as your guide. Just remember on this 1 minute, it is still far away from that 9 EMA. So the pattern might be intriguing, but just be aware this thing could easily pump or it could easily dump very quickly. And PTI is somewhat of a low floater. It's kind of a medium floater. So watch if this can get above 750. See that? So maybe a bull pennant. Gotta watch and see if it can break out here. So you kind of had this ascending triangle, broke up a little bit, came back down, riding this lower trend line. Now it's either got to go and break out or be careful. This thing could dump easily as well. It's still about, just keep an eye on it. There we go. 750 needs to hold that 750 marker. CW says, how do you determine low float with shares? So in Thinkorswim, I have shares, which is shares outstanding, which is usually, it's almost, I don't think I've seen an instance where it's not. It's always usually higher than float. So if you see 36 million, chances are it's probably in the 30s or upper 20s for float. So if you see 20 million or, 20 million or less, that's super low float. Even in the mid 30s, it could be like upper 20s or lower 30s. So basically, I use this as a guide because it's always higher than what the float is. So if you see 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, that's very low float. Now watch on PTI if 750 can hold. And next up, so I'm going to just do this at this point, reset my drawings, put 750 as an important area. So watch this tweezer tops. Watch for a possible dump right here. And watch this 9 EMA. Again, still a bit far away from that 9 EMA, possible tweezer top formation forming. I would look next up at $8 at resistance area for whole and half dollar amounts. So watch out for a possible reversal on PTI. MTNB, that is possible for... It's still possibly might be reversing at the bottom right now. Watch out for that dollar marker for resistance. Still keep an eye right here if the 750 can hold on PTI. I would also look at... Yeah, I would just keep an eye on $8. If that thing can hold, keep an eye on $8. Let me pull up CCCL. Dang, that one really took off. Let me pull that one up for you guys. So now next up, right around that 765-ish area, see if this holds. Again, keep an eye on $8. Now you can kind of, again, you guys see how it's riding this 90 minute. We're looking right below $8. See if $8. Be very careful with this one. Watch for tweezer tops reversing down, possibly. So you have two equal tops. Watch for 765 area possible, or for support. And Yeko, kind of a cup pattern, maybe an ascending triangle. Needs to get above that $18 marker. Watch out for PTI for a possible reversal setup. See that? $8 right down to $7.75. Tweezer tops. So with PTI now, again, see if this will form a flag right here. Right now it's showing some weakness right on that 765. See that? Right at $8, rejected all the way back down to 750. That's a 50-cent drop, guys. Very volatile, these stocks. So that's where you're trading them. You're in, you're out. You're in, you're out, right? So in, out, right? But what happens is a lot of new traders are buying at the tops here. So if I was a stock pumper, I would have said in right here, right? So 1,000, 2 1,000. Now you're chasing me 5, 10 seconds, 15 seconds to place your order. And then I would have said out right over here. So chances are you would have probably bought at the top here, chasing me, dumped right back down. But meanwhile, I could have made 767 up to $8. I could have made, 30 something cents on you guys if I was a stock pumper. That's kind of how it works, guys, right? So it's kind of like in, out. If I called out a trade to you guys right here, right? So if I called out in, by the time you scramble to get your order and I said out, you're probably buying here and then it drops down. If I bought, kind of in on this candlestick right here, again, you have less than a minute on these candles. In, you're chasing me, buying at a top, I'm out. So I'm just dumping my shares, right? If I was to pump to you guys, just dumping shares onto you. That's why you got to be careful. In, out with scalping. Lone says, man, I've been watching the CCCL since the open. Bullish Bears team says, wait for the confirmation on the 5-minute. I have been 0 trades, 0 profits. Yeah, happens, guys. So let me pull up CCCL. Now, careful right here. So right here, you have a smaller candle. Watch right here. See if this will hold. You can see it's rejecting off angular resistance right now. If it can break out, $8 is very important area. So, I mean, that's the thing, guys, with if you want to play trade safely or the safest way, let me pull up CCCL. Yeah, so I mean, it is kind of a roller coaster on this one right here. There was kind of a flat top-ish right in here, but it kind of roller coaster down. You may have been able on these smaller doji candles. Let's see, 359 to 34. But see, these are still got to be very careful with these, right? You know, because on a, oh, this is a 1 minute. Let me pull up a 5 minute. Yeah. So no wonder why alone, right? You know, if you're waiting for that 5 minute confirmation, it's going to be very difficult. So this is where, again, you got to determine what type of trader you are. If you're looking for a good daily breakout, a good 5 minute setup, and an entry on a 1 minute, that's your safest way when trading. But many times, if you wait for the 5 minute, you're not going to get the, you might not get the move. So again, that's where you can determine, well, I want to get in, get out really quickly. So that's when you would only trade the 1 minute, but you're going to open yourself up to a lot more risk as well. So that's where you got to determine your risk, what type of risk you're willing to take. So right here, still on PTI, be very careful with this right here. The 760 support, you can see it's smacking off angular resistance right here and right below $8. I'm looking at a couple from the watch list right now. I'm looking at HSGX again. So this one right here, this one did pump up, has pulled back. Again, it's showing some shakiness right now. I'm watching this 80-cent range and see if it can hold. If not, it might be dumping, but want to see if it can get above this 80-cent range. And if so, this one could, again, I do like this pattern on the daily. Has kind of a double bottom or a triple bottom. If this thing can hold and pump up, it might have a chance to go up to that dollar range. So I'm going to still keep an eye on it to the side. Yeah, dang, CCL just really took off. So this is, again, pull this one up. I mean, so on the 5 minute, guys, you know, this is where you just, you know, you can't kick yourself. You're going to miss these moves a lot, right? So again, it's very easy to say in hindsight, oh man, I should have bought at 365 and held to 573. I'd be up $2 right now. It's very easy to say that. However, you're going to get caught in a couple halts. Your risk is going to be huge. You know, you got to get down in, you know, kind of right in these areas right here. But still be aware, right? Even that this little doji candle, 361 down to 340, that's still a 20-cent risk. That's still a decent amount of risk, right? But if you're buying, like, you know, look, when you start getting into these candles, 442 down to 407, what is that, 35 cents? You got to be very careful. So it's easy to say in hindsight, oh, I should have just taken a trade on that. But at the same time, you got to be careful. What are you willing to risk? Because this could easily, you could go in for a possible break of this, and this thing could just dump right on you, and you could lose a lot. So don't, you know, don't get caught up in FOMO. You're going to miss trades. That happens. Ideally, if you are to trade it, you're getting in down in these areas. But still, these red doji-looking spinning top candles are not the greatest of confirmation. So you got to be very careful. Lone Wolf says, I haven't taken a single trade. Well, I don't blame you, because I'm not looking at anything awesome right now. Craig is hitting trade ideas. Let me pull up Craig. So Craig just had a flat top breakout above $2, so $2 is support now. high a day, 225. And let's pull up the daily. Let me do this. So Craig has a history of pumping. I don't see any news on it. Looks like a Chinese stock. Be very careful. This one's all over trade ideas. So I'd be expecting a halt probably soon. Potentially. Watch out for 250 resistance. And now it's just, you know, just be very careful. It's overextended. So now PTI, I'm going to pull up a 5-minute chart and kind of let this thing reset a little bit. And watch for the dump. So after these run, guys, if you're new, you know, this is where you might want to start pulling up a 5-minute chart and see this thing's been ripping, running up. Watch for this to pull back for a bit, see if it can hold and give you another possible reentry, or if this thing's just going to completely dump. And what I tell you guys about Craig is now halted. Yeah, definitely several circuit breakers today, guys. Several halts. Not sure why my Thinkorswim scan is not working, of course. There's a bearish one. Wait. Why is my bullish scan not working? Hold on one second. I got to take a look at this. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to fix this. Something's up with my scanner here. I don't know why my bullish scanner is not working. No, my trade ideas is working. It's just trying to fix my Thinkorswim one right now. And you'll see, why is that not working? Not that one, this one. Right. Unless it doesn't have Unless none of these are happening right now. Let's see. Let me give it a couple minutes, see if it'll populate. All right. So CCCL dumped. These are looking nasty right now, guys. So with ORPN, or with PTI, this is kind of what we're looking at right now. See what happens right here. See if it forms a possible hammer candle. Can get above that 750 area. So you want to see it get above 750. If so, this one might be one to keep an eye on for another possible pop. Careful of reversal on Craig. On a 1 minute shooting star, watch this one to potentially dump. Dump. See that? I tell you guys. Right down, 250 down to 220. Bam, bam. And for those of you guys that have not taken a trade today, I don't blame you. Lots of garbage. Gonna take, I'm looking at MXWL might be creeping up. Again, not much volume, but possible ascending triangle formation forming. Again, very choppy, just went red to green. See if this thing can get some volume. I don't love the pattern, but let's take a look at the daily. I don't know. Just was keeping an eye on it. I don't like it as much as when I start to drill in on it. But possible, you know, see if it can get above that 358, get some volume. So I was just keeping an eye on this flat top. You can see right here with PTI. Watch this 5-minute candle form. See if this will go, and you see 750. See, this is where you got to be careful. If you risk off these candles, you know, 750 down to 704, that's a pretty decent sized candle, and sometimes you'll miss it if you wait for a 5-minute. You'll see this is very, you can see right kind of in this flag pulling back right here. See this 750 area, very important support area. And it's a bit shaky at the moment. Let me take a look at WMT. Yep, so that one I had on the list yesterday. Let's look at, is this Walmart? Yep. So Walmart's looking pretty decent. You'll see on the list we had at or above 96.56, and right down here. So Walmart's having a pretty decent move right now. Keep an eye right here, kind of a bull pennant or maybe a flat top forming, because let's see, look at this again, kind of that cup and handles. For those of you guys who are watching my watch list video yesterday, you'll see I put this on, but be careful right now if you're trading Walmart right between this $97.30 to $98. Watch for some possible resistance, but again, kind of a bigger cup and handle pattern. And you know, this is one you could have day traded, could day trade options on, as this thing went red to green and held right here, 96.60, and it's up to $97. That ain't bad. And this is kind of right in the 9 EMA right now. So not bad. PTI again, watch out for $8. $8, possible cup handle position forming. Watch this $8 range. And there it goes. Watch, see if $8 can hold. Be very careful on this one pulling back. This might form a cup and handle. Walmart is still holding. Watch for possible flat top break above that 97.14 area. And keep an eye again on PTI, possible tweezer tops. Watch for a possible cup and handle. See how this one holds, shakes out. $8 support, 8.18 resistance. And right now with Walmart, you can kind of see, you can kind of just ride that 9 EMA. So if it can't break above 97.14, be very careful right here. This thing could dump. TIVO might be interesting, might be creeping up. Kind of has an inverse head and shoulders-ish right below previous close. So I'd watch out for this $13 range right here, and then this right around that $12.90 if it can go red to green. But it might be setting up kind of an inverse head and shoulders. Again, choppy with volume. But if it can go red to green, this one might be one to keep an eye on. And watch with PTI, see if this will hold that $8 area and form a cup and handle. See if this thing can break out above 8.18. So $8 support, 8.18 resistance on PTI. Might be forming a flag here, but you got to be very careful. This thing could easily dump, or it can easily break out 8.20-ish right here. See if this can go. Be very careful now. 8.18-ish area support. So really quick, right? So there we go. I gave you this one little doji candle here, 8.15 up to 8.34. Watch this thing drop back down potentially to this 8.18 area. See if it can hold. Look at the daily. And be next very careful of that 8.63 area. See if it can get above that. If it can get above 8.50-ish area. And 8.50. So right here. So right between that 8.50 and that 8.64 area. Support around that 8.18 area. Now be careful of this right here. You have this resistance at this candle wick right here. Watch out. Showing some indecision right here. Pulling back. Now see if that $8 range can hold. Again, keep an eye on TIVO. Not a lot of volume. But again, kind of an inverse head and shoulders. See if this one will move up. ACRX might be going red to green as well. Let me pull up. So right here with TIVO, if this can get above 12.90, if it can get above 12.97, you want to see it break above 13. And ACRX is now going red to green. Got more volume. Needs to get above that 420 marker. And if so, it's kind of a messier pattern, but kind of an inverse head and shoulders or a cup and handle or a V bottom. It's got some weird looking things shaping up on this one, but again, a bit spotty, needs to get above that 420. Don't love it right now. I'm going to still keep that off to the side. Go back to TIVO. This one needs to get above and go green. And what I tell you guys about PTI, again, rejected right below 850. and these levels right here, and rejecting below $8. So at this point, I'd reset it, put a 5-minute up, and now be careful of a possible head and shoulders pattern here. So now I reset some of these drawings. For those of you guys wondering what the heck and why things are not looking so hot today, let's pull up the futures. And futures are red on the day, near support level. And again, has kind of an evening star pattern on the daily. So buyers came back in above the 200, rejecting now off the 9 EMA, coming back down to kind of angular support right around that 200 SMA. So again, this is where, if you're new, guys, again, not every day is going to be a home run. You know, 2-3 days a week might be good for trading. The other couple days might be pulling back, or depending if the market's going down. That's where you could either dip buy, or you could just do quick scalps, or you don't have to trade, right? Why is my... Let me just do this. Let me look at some ones that are selling off right now. Let me take a look here and see for some possible dip buys. So this is basically what I'd be looking at, like an idea. I don't love this one right now, but something like this as it's selling off. Oh, that's a 15-minute chart. Let me pull up a 5-minute. A little bit better, but not so hot. So as you can see, it's selling off. You want to see it find some support. I'd like ideally a smaller candle on a 5-minute for reversal back to the moving average line. This is a little bit too big of a candle for me, but something like this, as it's really selling off on a 5-minute, getting oversold, watching for the buyers to come back in for a scalp back up to the moving average lines. So I'm going to look at a few of these and see if there's any possible dip buys. So this is what I would have actually really been looking at. So with one like AOBC, as it's selling off, this smaller 1337 to 51. So it's as it's selling off, oversold, 5-minute candle, risk off this 5-minute candle, back to the moving average line. This would have been something I was really looking at right here. As it's selling off, use this smaller 5-minute candle right here to risk off, back to the moving average lines, and then be careful right over here. Now keep an eye on PTI right here. Now this one might be moving up, right? Let's see. It's staying above. See if this can stay above $8. And possibly Again, it's showing shaky right now on 5 minute. But if so, oops, the heck. Let me do a 1 minute. So maybe doing kind of a cup and handle pattern. 820, next up 838. Watch for resistance there. So you have support now around that 820, resistance at 838, 850s, and around 864. You can see struggling right at the 838, right below it right now. Now you got double tops. But this is what I would have been looking for a possible dip buy reversal. And you can see nobody's going to be looking really at it, at trade ideas. Got 500,000 of volume. You know, maybe if you traded 1,000 shares or whatever, you got in 1,000 shares, you're risking, you know, 13 cents for the ability to make, you know, what is that? 50 up to 80s. You know, that's at least a 2-to-1 profit loss ratio. Nobody's staring at it, really selling off. And then it gives you that bullish harami in a 5 minute. Back up and look at VWAP and the moving average lines. That's a nice looking dip buy right there. At this point, I'd be very careful, but right down here, this is what I'd be looking at. And TIVO, let me go back over to that one. Slowly moving. You can see maybe doing an inverse head and shoulders right near going red to green. But again, could be forming a double top as well, or if it rejects 1297. But you can see this previous clothesline now, you know, very important support level. Zoom in on a 1 minute. Again, kind of has an inverse head and shoulders. So it's one to keep an eye on. You know, needs to get above that 1290 marker and then get above that 1297. So it might be forming an inverse head and shoulders. It needs volume though. So you can see volume very light. I'd like to see this thing get some volume to continue. And with PTI, we set the drawings. Kind of has a pennant-ish pattern going on here. So we'll see if this can go. Break out above that 838 and 850 area. Might be doing an ascending triangle. Got to watch and see. And now it needs to also hold that $8 range as well. Oops. Man, CCCL. I've been watching that in a 5 minute. Let me look at the 1 minute. That thing just took off. Yeah, that just really ripped. Still keeping an eye on TIVO here. Again, not much volume, but I just want to see if this thing will get above that 12, as you guys can see, that 1290 marker. And break, see if it can break that head and shoulders pattern. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. PTI is showing some weakness here, but again, maybe showing, so it kind of is, it's falling out of this lower trend line. It is far overextended off that 9 EMA. Also could be forming an ascending triangle as well, so this one could go either way. And this is on the 5 minute, so it's definitely showing some shakiness right now. Let's go to a 1. Yeah, it kind of has a double top pattern forming right up here, so be careful of that one. And it's failing below that $8. Stay safe, Red. I'll pull up, let me see, I'll pull up Craig for you guys right now and say, I'm still keeping an eye on TIVO. I'd like to see that thing move. Again, still very choppy on the 1 minute. I don't like this. Just want to see if this thing is going to get some volume. There it goes. Where's the volume though? Still not much of volume. But keep an eye on it. This might be doing an inverse head and shoulders right below $13. So now it needs to hold that 1290 level. And let me see, Craig, you guys were asking about that one. I mean, possibly on a 5 minute, yeah, it's not like it's not really a bull flag. I see what you're saying. Oh, that's 15. Let me pull up a 5. Yeah, possibly is definitely slanted down a lot more right here, that 215. It's a bigger kind of candle, slanted down right in here. Be careful, tweezer tops right here, formation, possible reversal down. TIVO struggling below 1297, choppy. Again, this is one that I was seeing if this thing was going to gain some volume for a possible break above 13. Still struggling. ACRX is on the watch list. This is one, again, I'm still kind of keeping an eye on. It did go red to green. Got above this 420 marker. It's kind of got this weird looking flag or pennant pattern forming right here. If it can break above that 5 or 430 level, right above and here, this thing might have a chance to pop up, and then watch for 450 resistance as well. You guys see this? This is kind of what I'm looking at. This possible flat top here on ACRX. Struggling right now. That 420 support level. PTI, I see what David was talking about on, let's see, PTI. So it is bouncing off the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. It's been very choppy though with these wicks. So if it can hold and go, it needs to get above that $8. Might have a chance, but be careful. It kind of has a head, left shoulder, possible head and shoulders pattern as well. Yeah, SNES. And still up, so you can see ACRX bounce off the 9 and the 13. If you can get above 420, you might still run. SNES, let me take a look at that one. Breakout over $1, see if $1 will hold. Careful that high wave candle on a 1 minute. Let's look at the daily. You can see a possible, right, a gap right in between that 112 to 116-ish area. So watch if this pullback on $1 holds. If so, it might have a chance to go up to fill that gap. Just be careful of that high wave candle. Struggling at that dollar pullback. Watch out for now this 94 cents. Now again, this might form a cup and handle, or not kind of cup and handle, like a kind of a flag right now. Let's keep an eye on. Let me pull back on a 5. Yeah, it's got this whole wick to contend with right up here, so be very careful with that one right now. Again, low floater. See if you can hold that dollar area. If so, then you can kind of do this right here. So if it can break out over $1 and hold and break out, and you can see there's a possible gap up to fill if it can break out and get above that 108 area and hold $1. We shall see. Oh, man. Watch. Still watching this candle right here. Possible hammer right here on that flag back. Right above $1. See if it'll hold. Yeah, Bond says the other chat room I'm in says that PTI is going to $9, but I don't know about that. Seems like a lot of unfounded bullishness in there. How the hell does anybody know what a stock's going to? Right? Think about that, guys, right? There, careful there on SNES. Look, quick pump. It's pulling back. I mean, guys, right? I mean, like, how the heck does anybody know, right? You never know what a stock's going to do. You know, that's why you got to do the proper support, resistance, risk management. But how does someone know what it's going to go to, right? So you got to be careful of listening to people pumping. PTI still struggling right now. So it kind of has that head, left shoulder, and you kind of have that head and shoulders pattern forming. Right here, next up with SNES is a 108, but be very careful, kind of tweezer topping right now, potentially on a 1 minute, pulling back. I'm still intrigued by TIVO, even though it's moving super slowly. If you look at on the 5 minute, this one's just moving like a snail. But now you have a 5 minute setup. You have a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, possible inverse head and shoulders right after it going red to green. So this is one to still keep an eye on. 5 minute looks a little bit better. Be careful of this candle wick over here. But again, you can see a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline below 13 bucks. See if it'll hold on a 5 minute above right here. And possible, again, inverse head and shoulders, possible cup and handle as well. So you can see the patterns right here. Careful with SNES right at that 108 marker. And that thing's moving really nasty. So this is kind of like the contrast of like a low floater right over in here compared to a higher float. So TIVO is a higher float stock right here, over 100 million in float. So this thing is just going to move slower, you know, not going to be as exciting. So, you know, something like SNES is going to pump up and dump right back down, or PTI pump up, dump right back down. PTI though is more of a kind of a medium float. But TIVO is just going to be kind of like up and down and slow and methodical. And again, it's all a matter of your trading style. Some people love the low floaters and some people don't. So at this point now with SNES, you want to see 108 hold and then see if this thing's going to go up. There is that gap right around that 116, so we'll see if that can go up and fill. And then you want to see it hold this 102 area as well. So right in between. So now it's kind of got maybe a kind of a flatter top formation. So let me just remove these drawings. As you guys can see, sometimes when you do all these drawings, your head starts to spin with all these support and resistance levels, and you have to reset. And so you do have a, again, not a lot of volume on, or hardly any on TIVO, but as you can see, the pattern, 5 minute candle hold, 1292 down to 1289. So it is a smaller candle. So this is something like if you were to look at a trade like this on TIVO, it is a bigger company. It's a 5 minute chart setup, is looking possibly good with an inverse head and shoulders. You can have smaller defined risk. So if you were to say, hey, I was going to risk on this trade, you can risk this candle here or previous close. Not saying it won't dump, but even if this thing did dump down, you know, even down to the 20, right? If this thing just did go completely against you, you're only going to maybe lose maybe possibly 10 cents on that trade. So you can kind of look at this and say, okay, possible pattern, red to green, kind of a slower mover. Let me look at the daily setup. Daily has a kind of a double bottom pattern. Price is right near that 50 SMA on the daily. So if this can hold, if this can break out above $13, this has some potential to move. You know, it has some potential to move up to maybe that 200 SMA. So that might have a potential decent, you know, again, it has some room. This could easily fall as well. In turn, you can see a left shoulder ahead, maybe a right shoulder here. So maybe turns into an inverse head and shoulders. So you just kind of just start looking at these and just kind of putting it together. Again, still showing some weakness around the 50 SMA. But so it's right between that VWAP and the 50 on the daily. So these are the things you start to look at. I ideally want to see this thing get above $12.97 for a breakout of 13 bucks. But it could easily dump or it could continue up. But again, just this is the things you got to look at, right? The daily setup, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, and then you got to determine your entries and your exits. Oh, guys, there's not much to look at today. This is a crappy day. Yeah. TIVO still showing all the shakiness right over here on the 1 minute. So again, right near previous close, moving slow as a rock. I can see IRIX is hitting trade ideas. That's a weird pattern. Let's see. Craig has kind of a symmetrical triangle-ish pattern going on right now, so this is one to keep an eye on. Again, I don't know if this one just pumped up due to volatility. Noah says, any thoughts on PTI? Entered at 780 and I'm down, but it looks like could be forming a bull flag on the 5 minute. Should I hold or just sell off now. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's not really a bull flag. This is really, I see what you're saying potentially on it. It could form a bull flag. So it could be forming here. It's just right here, $8 and 838. You got in at 750, you said? There's some support. I mean, it can go either way at this point. It's trading sideways right now. That's just, again, it's very, let me look at the 1 minute. It's right near resistance. Just be careful right in here. That's 760s area. Everything's trading sideways. Kind of a double bottom, but it's right caught between those moving average lines. Needs to get above that 760 range, so be careful. Might break out here. If it does, above 760s, watch out for $8. So it could have a chance. But, again, beware of resistance right in here. Smack right in between those moving average lines. Tweezer tops possibly forming. Again, this is one of those things, guys. This could break out, or if you're up and you got back up again, you got to be careful. This thing's it's all pinching and trading sideways. There's no guarantees on this. It's right near all resistance. Right now, it's breaking out. If you're up, be next aware of that $3 to $8 as resistance. So many times you only get one potential candle as it breaks out. So you got to be very quick on these. Jack says in at 757, out at 781. Great job. Be very careful. Spinning top candle here right now. Needs to hold outside of it. Everything's pinching right up. $8. New resistance. You can see it's tough with these guys. There's no real clear. It's all really tight, right? So that's where many times pulling up a 5-minute chart can help you to see, okay, I can risk maybe if you wanted to, it's still risky. This is risky to trade. It's not as clearly defined as maybe this hammer right here, but that's still a big candle right here. And so you can see right here, $8, clear resistance. You can see a head, left shoulder, right shoulder area. And just showing you guys, right? There you go. Spinning top, doji candle right below $8. $8 right back down to 760s again. Still slowly keeping an eye on TIVO over here. Still not doing much. But as you can see, this is one of those trades, like, right? If you're watching this thing and you were kind of in it and out, like, as you can see, there's lots of shakiness, but it still didn't go green to red yet. So even if this thing kind of, you got in and it didn't work in your favor, or you're kind of hanging out in it, you can see it's still above previous close. So it just gives you some time to make a decision. Not saying I don't love it at all by any means right now, just kind of keeping an eye on it. But you can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, inverse head and shoulders. And back with PTI, again, quick move up, coming back down, needs to hold angular support down in here. Yeah, HSGX might be moving up. Now be careful of TIVO over here. Now it's falling below previous close, so this would make me nervous. Yeah, let me pull up HSGX and see. It's still very sloppy though. It did break this left shoulder pattern. It's still really kind of choppy. But you know, watch out for 83 resistance, 81 support. If it can break 83, might have a chance up to that, potentially up to that dollar area if it can continue. Needs to get above 83 cents for HSGX. It's rejecting right below it at the moment, so we'll see if it can get above. Careful of a possible double or triple top here if it can't break above 83 cents for HSGX. Oh, that's 15 minute. Let me go to 1 minute. Yeah, this one can go either way right now. It's just a very kind of might be doing a cup pattern, but you can see all this choppiness all throughout here. Again, it's not moving up a lot. It's even down here 79 to 83. It's only 4 cents, but this is one of those penny stocks. So if it pumps up, maybe it moves 5 or 10 cents. Or again, if it might dump down, you just got to be very careful of this one. Lots of people getting in and out quickly. Hotkeys. Later, Shockwave. All right, guys, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up here today. This is a really crappy day. Bunch of garbaccio today, and hopefully you guys learned something. These are the days where we try to show you guys, when you see lots of garbage like this, it's very difficult to trade on days like this. So, again, for those of you guys who are new that are watching on YouTube, if you're not a member of our community on Facebook, we are the Bullish Bears. Come and join us. We have a very large community. Again, we can't say this enough. We are always about community. Community is our #1 focus with our company. We don't use community as a marketing tactic. We are a community. For those of you guys that have been around for a while, we started the Bullish Bears and our Facebook group with 40 people. It was Tim's stock market journey back, whatever it was. I don't even know, it was 2.5 years ago. And now we have 33,000 plus people. And again, we're the Bullish Bears. We just call ourselves Stock Market Community just to differentiate ourselves from our fan page over here. So again, we are the Bullish Bears, and we run a very solid community that started out on Facebook. Now we have obviously Facebook and our trade rooms as well. So again, if you're on Facebook, you can come and join us. You could come and like our fan page over here. And actually, oh, that's kind of cool. Facebook did a whole new thing right now. They're always kind of adding things on. So you can click right here to go to our to Bullish Bears, and this is where you can like and follow us. This is kind of cool. They put it over here now. They're always doing something different. So right here, this will take you guys to our candlesticks ebook. If you haven't grabbed it yet, we have a free candlesticks ebook that you can come take advantage of right over here that teaches you how to trade candlesticks. So again, we have our Facebook group, we have our fan page, so like and follow our fan page. Really great community to learn about the stocks. And the Hawaii Trader says, thanks, Dan. Busting my balls. I like it. Oh, man. They know it triggers me. Thien always calls me Dan every day. So come join us on Facebook if you haven't like and follow our fan page over here as well. And again, over on our website, speaking of community, we have a day trade room, a swing trade room, a futures room, another great place for community. So you'll see in our Facebook group, we have community. We have our trade rooms. We have community right here. These are open 24/7. So when I'm done with the stream, when I go take a nap, when I give my brain a rest, whatever I do, go grab a kombucha, go for a walk, whatever the heck I decide to do today, people still talking and chatting and helping each other out. And that's what, you know, we've always kind of set up everything with our community, kind of that pay it forward mentality, so that when new people come in, we're ideally trying to help you to become your own self-sufficient traders, and then obviously hope you guys stick around and help other people out, right? So again, trading can be a very lonely and kind of dark road at times. It can be very depressing just trading on your own and not talking to people. So that's why we kind of set up community. We make trading kind of affordable for everybody. So in that way, when you stick around, you become a good trader, you'd stick around and help other people out in the community and kind of keep that pay it forward mentality going. And CW Parker says, thoughts on CPHI, please, before I go. Let me take a look. Penny stock. All right, this one's pumping up. It is a pump and dump penny stock. It already pumped up to 83 cents, dumping now. Keep an eye on the 5 minutes, kind of doing an FU pattern or a head and shoulders pattern. I mean, it's a bunch of garbage. I mean, could it pump up more? Sure, but watch and see if it can hold VWAP in this 9 EMA in a 5 minute. A smaller candle for risk possibly, but it's I don't personally like it, but again, watch for a pullback, see if it can hold a smaller candle on the 9 EMA. It's just not looking so hot at the moment, but gotta watch and see. Look at the patterns, and there's your kind of like head and shoulders pattern. Kind of put your knuckles up like this, give yourself the middle finger. It's kind of what it's doing. Not a very sharp FU pattern, but it's not looking so hot. But got to watch and see the patterns. So again, our trade rooms, we do watch lists and trade alerts every day. For those of you guys that are new, if you're like, are the Bullish Bears legit? I don't know if I trust them. I don't know if they're a good company. Do their trade alerts work well? Well, come over here on our website, click on trade alerts. And you will see we have several months of, we post our trade alerts results every week. So we can go to some random week. We'll go to maybe August 24th. See how the heck we did on August 24th. Go down here and you'll see, oh, 97%. Wow, not so bad, huh, guys? Let's go to another random week and see how our trade alerts work. Let's go to July 13th. 90%. Not too bad. Oh, let's go to another week. June 1st. 83%. This is kind of what our lowest weeks kind of get down to, is about 83, low 80s. So guys, 80 to 90+% win ratio on our trade alerts. Again, so be very careful. Don't just take our trade alerts because they go off. You got to know support and resistance. And if you're like, how the heck do I learn? Well, we have thousands of dollars worth of courses that we provide for free to our members. So if you're a member, all you'll do is just log in every day right over here. Come over, choose your chat room of choice, talk with people, take our courses just by clicking on the corresponding course. And then each day we do live streaming here, so you can click on live streaming and watch us do live streaming. So you'll see we stream every day for a couple hours. There's good days and there's crappy days. So again, guys, even on the crappy days, we're trying to teach you. We're trying to show you this is crap. Why is it crap? Why was today crap? Well, let's go back over and look over here at futures. Again, it's almost 11 o'clock. And you will see market pulling back, kind of the spinning top candle right at resistance. And it's caught between support and resistance. These spinning top candles are indecision. Indecision affects stocks. So if you're wondering why today was crappy, well, go look at the market right here. So this is what we try to teach you guys. Not every day is going to be like a green day like this. On red days like this, you could either not trade, you could short, or you can watch for potential dip buys. I showed you guys one potential one earlier that was a decent dip buy, but other than that, didn't seem much really so hot today. So that's what we got for you guys. If you're not a subscriber yet, you can click up here, come down over here and see we're only $49 a month or $300 for the year. If you compare that to other trading companies, you'll see that many trading companies, for what we charge for the year, that's what they charge for a month. And they don't give you all of this. Again, we give you our ebook, our wallpaper backgrounds. By the way, these are super awesome, guys. We have several of these that we provide, so you can put it right on your computer and show you how to trade candlesticks right here. This is just reversal patterns. We have bullish ones, bearish ones. So if you just subscribe, you'll get access to all of them, our community, our courses, our trade rooms. We share our trade ideas live scanner every day, kind of a try it before you buy it. We give you our scanner settings and our members only content right over in here. All right, guys, so you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will catch you guys all later. Enjoy.